The following WarmCarNow video will guide you in the installation of our plug-and-play remote starting system for the 2020 Toyota Camry. The system will cover the installation of the standalone remote starting system that can be activated from the OEM remote and the optional MyCar Smart Phone Controller upgrade. I'm going to first remove the side panel of the vehicle. Screws from underneath the dash. Go ahead and drop the bottom of the dash and remove it. I'm going to release the diagnostic plug also. There's two ears on the side. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to push them in, and we'll be able to remove the plug out the back, and we can completely remove the under the dash panel. We're going to go ahead and we're going to pop off this side panel here. And there's only clips. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to remove the clips. We can leave it hanging, or you can remove all the plugs if you like. So we're just going to leave it hanging. It shouldn't be a problem here. We're going to continue on to the next step. We're going to remove the screw located right here. It's a Phillips head screw. And there's one on the opposite side. We're going to remove that one also. Okay, we're going to recenter the wheel. We're going to remove the screw on the bottom. And we're going to turn off the ignition to the vehicle. To stop the door chime, we'll just press and release the pin switch button here on the side of the door jamb on the driver's side. I'm going to separate the steering column cover plastic. I'm going to apply pressure to the side with our thumb, and this will create a gap. We'll then go ahead and we'll unclip the plastic and remove it. This will give us access to the steering lock mechanism underneath the dash. We're going to be interrupting 3 plugs. 2 plugs at the BCM located right here, and 1 plug at the steering lock mechanism. I'm going to go ahead and give you a close-up. Okay, you're looking at the vehicle's BCM, and we're going to be interrupting the bottom plug and the second plug up here. I'll give you a clear picture of it. We're going to start there with our T-harness plugs. We're going to remove the plugs that we need to interrupt from the BCM. We're going to start with the upper plug. We're going to press the release clip and remove the plug. We're going to do the lower or the bottom plug. At this point, we're going to go ahead and install our T-harness. We're going to insert the bottom plug from our T-harness into the BCM. Going to push it in and make sure it locks. We're going to plug in the upper plug into the BCM. We're going to make sure that the plug locks in when inserted. We're going to be left now with 2 plugs in which we're going to plug in the plugs that we removed from the BCM. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to locate the plugs that we removed, and we're going to plug them into the corresponding connectors. They'll only fit one way, and they'll only fit the connector that they are supposed to go in. We're now going to continue on to the next step. The next step is to remove the plug from the side of the steering lock connector. There's a release clip we're going to press in, and we're going to slide the plug back. We're going to remove the steering lock connector plug by pressing in the clip and sliding the plug back. We're going to route our steering lock connector plug, which has white ends on it, over to the steering lock mechanism. Going to now plug in the steering lock connector plug into the steering lock. And then we're going to plug the plug that we removed from the steering lock mechanism into the other side of the steering lock portion of the T-harness. At this point, we're ready to begin pairing our module to the vehicle. First step is to locate the program button on the module. We're going to hold the program button down while we plug in the 4-pin data plug. When we do this, the lights on the front are going to cycle. The first light that's going to turn on is a blue LED. When you see the blue LED, you want to let up on the button. If you fail to let up in time and you let up on another color, unplug the module and repeat the procedure. At this point, we're going to be very conscious not to press the button again. We're going to plug in the remaining connectors. We're going to start with the 20 pin, which is located right next to the 4-pin. And then on the back side, we're going to plug in the white plug and the red plug. Our light should remain blue throughout plugging in of the additional plugs. We're now going to need the key fob to the vehicle. In the vehicle, we're going to press the push to start button 2 times. We are not going to hold the brake as we do not want the vehicle to start. We only want the vehicle's ignition to turn on. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to press the push to start button once, twice. The blue light will go out. It will come back on and flash rapidly. This is an indication that the vehicle pairing is complete. We can now push the push to start button again to turn off the vehicle's ignition. Our system is ready to test. We're outside of our vehicle. We're going to test remote starting by pressing the lock button 3 times on our remote. This will trigger remote starting. Our runtime is set for 30 minutes. If you do not use the vehicle in 30 minutes, it will shut itself off. If you decide you do not want the vehicle to run for 30 minutes, you can turn the vehicle off by pressing the lock button 3 times. To access the remotely started vehicle, unlock the doors with your OEM key fob. When you open the door to enter your vehicle, the engine will shut off. You will have to get in the vehicle and restart the engine in order to drive the vehicle. This is standard on Toyota push-to-start vehicles. This method provides a secure means of takeover for the vehicle and cannot be changed or modified. There is an optional parking light connection for our system. The parking light connection can be obtained on this plug right here. You can verify you're on the correct plug. If you unplug the plug, you will hear this chime. We're going to go ahead and we're going to make our connection to this blue wire located right here. And I'm going to give you a closer look. You can verify the parking light connection by using a grounding style test light. When we probe the parking light wire with a grounded test light, the parking lights will activate. We're going to use the wire labeled parking lights, or the brown wire with a white trace, and we're going to run this over or route it over to the parking light connection point. We're going to then use what's called a posi-tap to make our connection. Posi-tap connector will make the connection without solder, tools, or tape. To start, we're going to unscrew the bottom portion of the posi-tap. We're going to have a piece with a groove, and we're going to have a piece with a needle. We're going to put the wire in the piece with the groove. We're going to screw the connector back together. We're going to be very careful not to cross-thread it, because it will not hit the wire if we do that. We're going to run the posi-tap down until the needle pierces the wire. We don't want to over tighten them, we just want to tighten it so that it's all the way on. We're now going to loosen the collar piece on the other end of the posi-tap, one full turn. We're going to strip 1/8 to 1/4 inch off of our wire, exposing the bare wire conductors. We're then going to insert the wire into the collar that we unscrewed in the previous step, and we're going to push the wire in until it bottoms out. Now at this point you're going to push it a little bit harder. It's going to go in a teeny bit deeper. We're going to tighten the collar. We're going to give it a pull test to make sure that it's connected. We're not going to pull on the wire. We're going to hold the connector while we do the pull test. We have a parking light connection. We could verify our parking light connection with a grounded test light. We'll take the grounded test light and we'll probe our parking light wire. If our connection is good, the parking lights will activate. One of the available upgrades for our system is the MyCar Smart Phone Controller. Our system can be paired with the MyCar Smart Phone Controller or a Fortin RF antenna kit. I'm going to show you how the system will operate with the MyCar Smart Phone Controller. We're going to pair a MyCar Smart Phone Controller to our system. To connect our pre-configured MyCar smartphone controller, we're going to locate our blue accessory plug on our device. We're going to locate the blue plug on our MyCar unit. We're going to plug the MyCar into the blue plug. When we do this, we're going to verify that the lights on the MyCar turn on. The red light indicates GPS signal, while the green light indicates a cellular signal. We're going to go ahead and pair the MyCar while the MyCar is acquiring a cellular and GPS signal. With the MyCar unit plugged in, we're going to remove the 4-pin plug from the Evo. We're going to then hold the program button down and plug in the 4-pin plug. We do this, the lights on the front are going to begin to cycle. We want to release the button when we have a solid blue and a solid red LED. We're going to now press the button down and hold it down. The blue and the red light will go out. We're going to wait till they come back on. We're going to release the button when this happens. Now at this point we'll need the fob in the vehicle. We're going to turn the vehicle's ignition on by pressing the push to start button 2 times. I'm going to dim the light a little bit so you can see better. When we turn the vehicle's ignition on, a couple things are going to happen simultaneously. The yellow light in the center is going to illuminate, and the 2 outside lights, the blue and the red, are going to blink 1 time, indicating that the Evo has accepted the MyCar. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. You got to watch close because it's only going to happen 1 time. It's going to happen fast, possibly. So I'm going to push the push to start button 2 times, once, twice, and you see what just happened with the Evo, exactly what I said. The yellow light came on, the 2 outside lights turned off and turned back on. So now we're going to shut the vehicle's ignition off by pressing the push to start button 1 time. The Evo will exit programming mode or pairing mode, and we will test our MyCar smartphone controller. In order to be able to test the MyCar smartphone controller, we have to make sure we have a cellular lock. The green light must be on solid. If the green light is flashing, then we do not have a cellular lock. You may have to put your vehicle outside or reposition the MyCar smartphone controller. The unit will function without the GPS lock, which is indicated by the red light being on solid. So we're going to go ahead. We have a lock on both signals. We're going to test our device. We have our MyCar app opened up, and you can see some of the indicators. Have voltage, signal strength, and temperature. We also have some icons to perform different functions. We're going to go ahead and we're going to lock our vehicle. Okay, you see that we have confirmation that our vehicle is locked. You saw the parking lights also when the vehicle received the signal. We're going to go ahead and we're going to unlock our vehicle. Okay, so we have our confirmation. We're now going to lock the vehicle again, and then we're going to start our vehicle. Our vehicle is going to start. You will see we have a runtime counter. After a successful start, we'll be giving the vehicle runtime right there. Should pop on any second here. Our run time is 30 minutes. We're going to go ahead, we're going to shut our vehicle off. Now, I'm going to show you the GPS tracking feature. We can go ahead and we can track our vehicle. And that's exactly where the vehicle is. I'm going to also show you how to set up the trunk release. We're going to click the settings gear cog. We're going to go ahead and we're going to configure auxiliary 1 to release the trunk. So it's going to get a warning here. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to cycle this selection to trunk, and then we're going to cycle the bottom selection also to trunk. We have them both set on trunk. We're going to click accept. Now we'll have the trunk appearing on aux 1. Going to select done. Okay. So now, in order to release the trunk, the doors must be unlocked. This is a safety feature, so you can't accidentally pop your trunk. So the doors must be unlocked. So we've just unlocked the doors. Now we'll hit this arrow button here, and we'll have a trunk release icon. We'll click that and listen. And there we have our trunk release. You can see it pop up in the back. This is pretty much all the features for this particular installation. There are other features that can be configured on different vehicles, like door sliders and things like that. But for the most part, that's about it for this installation. I'm going to go ahead and reassemble the vehicle. Okay, I'm going to show you my zip-up location. So I'm showing you this view just so you know where I am under the dash. So I have the module zipped to the support bar. You don't want to be on the front of this because it will hit on the dash piece that you're going to put back on. I have the MyCar zipped up here with the correct side facing up right here. So this just gives you some ideas of how to stow the equipment when you're done.